This is a monument to life of a cherry blossom, a story of Tairo Naosuke-i, or Lee, who dramatically opened Japan to the world at the end of the Edo period in an agitated Japan on the brink of revolution. The title is of a novel from Seiichi Funabashi. First name S-E-I-I-C-H-I, which is the first name, and then second name F-U-N-A-B-A-S-H-I. Okay, the block represents Naosuke-i, and the lower stones, both on the sides, are his close advisors. The sand represents a flurry of fallen petals and tells us about Tairo's life of a cherry blossom, brilliant but fleeting. This is a statue of Lee Naosuke, 1815-1860. Became the most powerful of Hikon fief daimyo when he was 36 years old. As chief minister of the Tokugawa Saigonet in 1858, he decided and signed the Treaty of Amity and Commerce with the United States. On March 3, 1860, he was assassinated by a group of Mito loyalists outside the Sakuran Dome gate of Edo Castle at the age of 46. Now inside Genkyuen Garden, construction was begun in 1677, named after an ancient garden adjoining a Chinese imperial palace building. Again, that direct allusion to Chinese culture and reverence for it, incidentally. I'm sure that this lacks the grandeur that it, and beauty and subtlety that it once had, a bit shop-worn. And you can imagine how these hills might have looked at one time. Maybe these reflect little pathways that used to go through here. Even without being an aficionado of Japanese gardens, you can tell that there are areas here that were certainly not exploited now. Nevertheless, the site just reeks of past importance and beauty. These big stones, that bridge, the water, of course, the trees in the background. You can bet it didn't stop there. Funky looking roofs on these buildings. Apparently a walk around the lake completely is now precluded. I'm sure the daimyo would be most displeased with the shabby state of his estate. Even that falls no longer is. We see where they've attempted to resod it. Maybe it's the environment that's creating the problem. Imagine the daimyo and his crew at this step down into their boat and cruise a bit about here. You wonder if he had it connected into the moat system somehow.
平坦なんでゴロゴロゴロってでも結構普通の時代みたいなお城の
I'm doing this so you can get a sense of the reflection of the water as you move along. Okay, I'm up at the Yume Kiyobashi Castle Road, bunch of shops, and there should be a street that goes off to the right even more so. But my guess is that what we're looking at here is a Balboa Island, tourist, boutique, upscale, total reconstruction, everything that's here. Maybe a faux appearance, I don't know. It's past 12 o'clock and there's a very few people on the street, even though this is the golden week of travel. So for whatever the reason, people are not here. This may be the most apt description, but even still it's far, far, far more new than anything I can see that strikes of old. I've wandered into an area that at least is intimate. Small little narrow streets. Not these, but off to the right side here. See here, at least the illusion of old. And this is not a touristy area. This is just where people live. The restoration there. Now looking down from the street I usually turn on to go to my hostel, one block up plus the railroad station. I'm going to focus back down so you can see how far down that is. You'll find what I show you in a few moments interesting. An example of their moving it and the dangers of that. A few bodies strewn beneath the log that slipped. Wow. Here you can see the solidity of the structure that's built just for the restoration of these two huge buildings. In itself a substantial structure, to say the least. These are some of those huge beams that they're talking about. These slatted boards that are here for the purpose of standing on with your socks so that you can then put your shoes back on, which you oftentimes at many sites carry in a plastic bag, although you can just leave them here. Some places have racks for them, but this is the second of the two large buildings that's being restored. This is an entryway into it that has pretty work on it. And then the building inside. Part of our walk here, we'll negotiate this narrow walkway tunnel here, coming out into wait, this complete underground tunnel that runs all the way to the station. But that's not all we'll see. Now notice that it turns a little bit to the left, it looks like. Entrance and escalator and stairway for Kyoto Tower. Tomorrow morning I'll come this way, because once I get down to this level, I'm at the level I need to be at to access the JR Genkyuen train. Go on a little bit farther, I would have come out right where, underneath the railroad station itself. But here I'm where the buses are now. All I have to do is find my bus 101. The transportation here is superb if you understand it. I want 101. Fortunately, there was a guard-like person here who directed me to B2. I don't know how you know that. There must be a way, but I don't know what it is. The difficulty is, or the irony is, you come here for a day completely ignorant. You spend 5 or 6 days here, become pretty knowledgeable, and bang, you leave. Pandemonium. Most of the stuff, there's lines here to tell you where to line up, but even where there aren't any lines, everybody gets some nice little lines. They know where they're supposed to be. There's no pandemonium, no chaos. This morning I'm catching the 101. You can see it circled in green there. And I picked up the express thanks to the advice of the young lady. At least I asked her if it was going where I was going. She said it was. And then we follow 101 up here, over here, and up here, to this spot here. And then I go to the Nishi Textile Center, right there. Notice the seats, individual armrests. It's too cool for a bus, eh? This is our first stop.